it's always a you know juggling act of sorts because uh, you want. I prefer to work with the willing. Let's just put it out there. I prefer to work with the willing because we're not going to spend gobs of time making the business case for why this is important. Now I have to send them a bunch of articles about why this is the thing you should do. I'm not going to talk. I have to spend time talking about the profits and all that stuff. They're the willing, and they're like, let's do this. Now it's a conversation about what path we're going to take, and I love that. And so the assumption is I'm always going to have about 10% of any organization who are not going to just be resistant, but are going to dig their heels in. And that's okay. That's the challenge, is that it's okay because that's the nature of humans, right? You're going to have a range of folks who are getting different levels of acceptance of anything that's new and changing of the culture of an organization or buying into a different concept. I think the challenge is that being available when those folks are ready to kind of lean into this conversation, to be a part of it, that you're providing skills for them to be a part of a conversation, even if their position is, I don't want to do this, but they're still invited and have a way of engaging the conversation when possible. Because oftentimes people, it's not that they don't want to do it, sometimes they don't have the information about where they fit into this conversation. There's a lot of things. And so what I oftentimes offer is a conversation about stages of change. And for a lot of people, they have certain values, beliefs, where they may be. It may take them 6 months of doing some research and some exploration before they decide they want to even buy in the first place. Or they may not even know there's a problem. There's a problem. The racism is an issue? Really? And so if you're coming from that perspective of less judgment and more of how they fit on the spectrum and being available to them when they're ready, it's not about resistance. And I guess maybe that comes from my background working in alcohol and drug treatment. You're going to get a lot of people who are going to be like, I don't have a problem with drugs. I see you getting high all the time, but okay. And so from that perspective of stages of change, you just accept that people are in different places, and that's okay. I do know that sometimes it becomes a challenge because let's say you're dealing with leadership, right? And you only have like 7, 8, 9, 10 people, and you need all the buy-in you can get. And there's that one person, or maybe 2 people, maybe it's even your leader who's like, we're spending how much money on this? I don't know about that. And you almost have to take a little bit of the same kind of mindset, because even if it's the leader and all the rest of their team is saying yes, at some point the leadership has to ask themselves, why is the rest of my team on board and I'm not? So then that's when I go back to those, how do you have conversations about this conversation, this subject matter? And I think if you build the tools to have the conversation, eventually what you're going to see is how this is aligned with the business case, how this is aligned with the mission, so on and so forth. And you give people the time necessary, because people sometimes just need time to adjust. You never know what's going on in people's lives, that makes it difficult for them to process this really weighty, heavy stuff.